Welcome to the Star Life TV channel. In this video, I will talk about the terrible plans of the Illuminati and the truth about power in the new video Little Big, Generation Cancellation. On June 24, 2022, Little Big's video for the song Generation Cancellation premiered. In just one day, more than 2.5 million people managed to watch the video. The members of Little Big dedicated their new creation to the current situation in the world. In the description of the video, the musicians call on people for world peace. The video for the song Generation Cancellation directly talks about the influence of the media on people, and also shows the true essence of all conflicts taking place on Earth. The ending of the video is not encouraging at all. It unfolds one of the possible scenarios of the future, to which the Illuminati are bringing our world closer with all their might. The director of the new work Little Big was Misha Svagelski. Immediately after the release of the video, information appeared that the band members left Russia and settled in the United States. This is not surprising, because in their homeland for such creativity they risked being behind bars. However, it is important to understand that everything shown in the clip applies not only to Russia, but to the whole world as a whole. The very title of the song, Generation Cancellation, is pretty creepy. It can say that our generation will be the last on Earth. This idea is clearly shown at the very end of the clip. Symbolism begins literally from the first seconds of the video. We see a naked Ilya standing with a guitar in front of the cameras. This scene shows that people are continuously monitored for the purpose of total control. All the ins and outs are known about each person, and therefore people are literally undressed and completely helpless in front of the powerful of this world. The cameras turn to the screen, thus showing that the audience is also under their guns. The next scene of the clip is even more symbolic. We see soldiers with weapons in their hands, who are standing on a chessboard. All of them are of different nationalities. People in suits are sitting at the table, whose eyes are covered with a black stripe. On it you can see images of the icons of the main world currencies: ruble, dollar, yuan and euro. Obviously, these people symbolize the representatives of the world's elite, who are behind the scenes. Their names and identities are unknown, but it is they who play the game of human destinies. The different nationalities of the soldiers, as well as images of world currency icons, indicate that the whole world is drawn into the so-called game. One of the men at the table makes a move, after which a soldier with a Slavic appearance is cut down. It is placed horizontally on a chessboard. This fact reflects the current situation in the world. When on the territory of Ukraine there is a mass death of the Slavs. The chessboard itself is one of the main symbols of the Illuminati and means the unity of good and evil. In general, this scene of the clip most openly reflects the fact that any war is a game between the elites, the price of which is the lives of ordinary people. After the game is over, men in suits shake hands. At this moment, the clock of one of them is shown close-up. The hands are on Roman numerals 5 and 7, which may indicate the date July 5. After the handshake, the losing man points a gun at his opponent, which remains with him along with his hand. This moment may indicate that the games between the elites are not played according to the rules, and the final of any event is difficult to predict. Further in the clip there is a change of locations. We see a child who buys a hot dog. The color of the boy's backpack is a reference to the flag of Ukraine. Behind the counter is again a man in a suit with his eyes closed. Instead of a sausage, he gives the child a rocket. This scene symbolically shows that the war was imposed on Ukraine. Like a child, she was dragged into a game that is beneficial only to invisible puppeteers. The following frames of the clip openly show what the media and television are like. A man in a suit sits against the background of the inscription "Fake News." When the camera zooms out, it becomes clear that he is sitting on the toilet. Huge pipes go from it, which go straight into the head of the viewers watching TV. A man and a woman are also sitting on toilets, pipes from which enter their son's head. Thus, we see that the consciousness of people is literally pumped up with feces, that is, false information. Parents, in turn, based on what they are told on TV, form the worldview of their child. This scene applies not only to Russian television, but also to the media around the world. The principle of operation of the media is the same everywhere. People are told only what is beneficial to the authorities in order for their game to continue. In the next seconds of the clip, the sign of the Pacific lined with grenades appears in the frame. It is an international symbol of peace and nuclear disarmament. Thus we see that all the talk about the world is nothing more than a beautiful cover for terrible deeds. The Pacific itself is the Slavic rune of Chernobog, which once again demonstrates the substitution of concepts in the modern world. Further in the clip, we see the device for pumping oil, presented in the form of a dropper. In a chair in the middle of the desert sits one of the representatives of the world's elites, to whom oil enters directly into the blood. Nearby, ordinary people are kneeling with outstretched hands. This scene symbolically shows that all natural resources are in the power of a limited group of elite. The rest of the people, despite the fact that our planet is rich in minerals, is like in a lifeless desert. Resources and funds from their extraction simply do not reach people, settling in the pockets of those in power. The next scene of the video makes a direct reference to religion, which is often used by the elites as a tool to encourage their dark deeds. In particular, the special operation on the territory of Ukraine received a blessing from the highest confessors of Russia. We see a man kneeling in front of a soldier. He baptizes him with his club. It is made in the form of a cross. On the flags hanging nearby, you can also see weapons disguised as a cross. All this suggests that faith in God is also perverted and presented to people in a completely different light. Next, we see another scene showing the influence of propaganda on people's minds. Behind the podium stands a representative of the world's elites, whose nose has grown to unimaginable proportions. This is a direct allusion to the fairy tale Pinocchio, whose protagonist's nose grew when he told a lie. The politician's nose goes through the ears of people who are more like zombies. These shots clearly show that people are being lied to from everywhere, passing off lies as genuine truth. In the next frames of the video, we see a rainbow image formed from the logos of famous brands. When the camera moves away, it becomes clear that this is a window in front of which a happy man stands. However, when he takes off his invisible virtual reality glasses, the picture changes dramatically. All around remains only dullness and devastation. On the one hand, these images show the current situation in Russia, in which everything is far from being as smooth as they say on TV. The same can be said about Western countries, which also suffered because of the sanctions. On the other hand, this scene may have a more global meaning. People live in an illusion imposed on them and do not notice that in fact they are being used by dark forces as a source of energy. Later in the clip, we see people with their mouths buttoned shut. who are surrounded by soldiers. It is not difficult to guess that these are those who are aware of the true state of affairs in the world, but cannot voice the truth. The following scenes of the clip show the attitude of the representatives of the world's elites to ordinary people and to our planet as a whole. First, a man with his eyes closed in a suit shakes off the ashes on the city, in which everything collapses. He then rotates the Earth at the causal site. The most symbolic in the video is its ending. These shots may reflect the plans of the Illuminati for the near future. A suitcase is brought to a man in a suit, inside of which there is a red button. This gives a reference to the so-called nuclear suitcase of presidents. Pressing the red button means the use of nuclear weapons. The man in the suit presses it without hesitation. Immediately after this, Ilya and Sophia appear against the backdrop of skyscrapers. Anti-war slogans can be seen on their chests. The moment the red button is pressed, the artists are transported to a place that looks like a bootloader from the movie The Matrix. In it, Morpheus told Neo about the illusory nature of our world. The outfits of Ilya and Sophia give a reference to the first people, Adam and Eve. This scene shows that after pressing the red button and destroying all life, the so-called zeroing of the world will occur. A person will return to his original source and will be able to remodel his reality. It is possible that this explains the desire of the Illuminati to bring the apocalypse closer. They sincerely believe that after the destruction of the world they will be able to create another, more perfect reality. Thus, the clip of the group Little Big, Generation Cancellation is very controversial. On the one hand, it openly shows the whole essence of power and television, which can help people look at the world without rose-colored glasses. On the other hand, the video programs on the negative events associated with a nuclear explosion and zeroing the world. In addition, it traces the theme promoted by the Illuminati of the illusory nature of our reality. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel. Put likes.